You all really seem to appreciate my hidden spots in Damn Battlegrounds video, and since that's only the starting map of Arc Raiders, I figured I'd move on to some of the other maps, and help you find 7 more spots that are either hard to find, hard to reach, or places where you can easily go to get some good loot if you happen to spawn nearby. This time we're headed to Buried City, a map that I'm particularly fond of during the cold snap map condition. Because so much of it is inside already, the drawbacks of not being able to stay outside for more than a few minutes never really matter. So let's dive in. I do want to mention, right away, that Buried City is probably the most vertical map in the game. So make sure to brush up on your jumping and mantling skills particularly, because you're gonna need them. Let's start with what is probably the best spot in the entire map. This building over by the abandoned highway camp. What you're going to want to do is head to the south side roof and find this specific window in the green building. Jump across, but rather than heading inside to loot it, turn around and double back. There will be a window pretty much directly below where you just were. You'll always find a double case of file drawers, which are really underrated in a high quality loot spot like this. Then head to the next room and you'll almost always find a weapon crate and a health pack on top of a bookshelf. Make sure to loot all of the containers in here because they have some seriously good stuff. I will say that this spot is one of the most highly trafficked, which isn't entirely surprising, given the fact that once you're in, there's only one entrance, so it's easily defended if you're worried about other people. If you spawn nearby, definitely come here. But if you don't, unless you happen to be in the area already, this is probably one place you should skip. The next one is one of my favorites, largely because it's fun to get to and also because it's just far enough out of the way that most people either don't bother or don't know about it. Head to the West Village and get your way up onto this building. There are a lot of ways up there, but worst comes to worst, just climb up the ladder and then drop down to the middle building. You'll take a little damage, but you'll be fine. If you're not sure which building I'm talking about, look for the one with the satellite dishes on top. That's your landmark. Once you're on that roof, the zipline should be pretty obvious. It goes directly across through the gap between the buildings. Then take the zipline, and when you get to your ledge to your right, jump off. The timing can be a little tricky on your first time. You want to jump off the zipline when you're almost parallel with that ledge on your right. Too early and you'll miss it, too late and you'll overshoot. But once you get the timing down, it's pretty easy. Inside this small room is usually a weapon crate and a utility crate, but make sure to check the drawers in the back too. In my 2 runs to record this, I got a snap hook and a blueprint. It's very, very good loot in here. You can also technically get down here by taking the ladder next to the ledge, but it's only accessible from the roof of the building. So if you find yourself up there and you can climb the stairs all the way up or zipline all the way up, make sure to come down here and see if it's been looted yet. Chances are it may not have been. So you've been to this place if you followed the quests, and that's under the parking lot. I put this one here because, like the highway drop down in Damn Battlegrounds, this is one that people tend to forget. Especially if you came here and there wasn't any good loot at the time. I know there wasn't for me. There was no special weapons containers, no utility containers, nothing. But it's easy enough to reach. It has a chance at having a weapon crate or 2, and even if it doesn't, I've found that the breachable containers usually have some pretty good loot in them. Just be careful about getting here though. There are lots of serious arc foes around that can spawn, including rocketeers, bombardiers, and bastions. The next spot isn't necessarily hidden. In fact, it's on the map as Pharmacy in Piazza Rosa. When I first started running this map and needed medical supplies to complete my workbenches, I kept coming around here trying to figure out where the heck I was supposed to go. Turns out it's actually really easy. All you have to do is breach the front door. But after spending so much time on Damn Battlegrounds, as a new player, I was looking for a completely different type of breach bar. Inside, you'll find lots of medical supplies and valuables, including coffee pots, toasters, and other supplies. I even managed to pull a snap hook out of here. So if you're in the area, ready to extract and maybe have some extra time, see if the door has been opened yet. If not, there could still be some pretty decent loot inside. Let's do another obvious one while we're at it. You've been near here for some quests already, but there's one particular breach door in Merano Station that's really popular. In both of my attempts to get here, it was looted already, and inside was a utility crate and 2 breachable containers. But there's also a chance of a weapon crate spawning here. And considering how easy this one is to get, if you spawn nearby, make sure to check it out. Could be a really good get. Again, a quest has asked you to come here before, or at least near to it, but poke around and you'll find some higher than expected quality loot at Red Tower. Now, Red Tower is interesting because it's marked on the map, but it's not a high value loot zone, so most people just ignore it completely. But it's got more loot than you'd expect for such a small location. You may remember coming here to this computer and poked around this filing cabinet. I know I did. But if you drop down to the right, there's a room you can go inside that also has some pretty good quality loot. I didn't get them in this run, but there are 2 weapon crates that can spawn in this area. One is near the computer, and another is in the building across the bridge next to the stairs. Our final spot requires a snap hook or a zipline. Head to the market ruins, or top of the parking garage, and then zipline to the top of the hospital. Up top, there is a small enclosure in the center that you can slide into. There's a chance for a weapon crate to spawn up here, alongside a security breach container, if you have that skill. Unfortunately, I did not yet in this run. Actually, I still don't have it, but I also got a medical crate and a suitcase. Nothing to write home about. This one was particularly bad, but if you're in the area, particularly if you can open security breaches, it's worth checking out for a single zipline. Also, if you're here, head to the middle floors and check if this ammo crate is here on this scaffolding. I randomly decided to check it on my way out and got a Bettina blueprint, so, yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, these are the 7 spots I like to check if I get a chance. Maybe not all of them are as hidden as those in Damn Battlegrounds, but I feel like that's partially due to the fact that because of how vertical and how dense Buried City is, just about everything feels hidden. From the luggage in the attics to all of the random rooms where you can usually find some cabinets unlooted. If this helped you out, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and drop a comment letting me know what your favorite go-to loot spot is in Buried City. In the near future, I'll be doing more of these videos, one for Spaceport and one for Blue Gate, maybe Stella Montis eventually. But to be honest, as a PvP avoider, I've been completely ignoring that map so far. For now though, I think that's it. I'll see you next time.